Hi, hello. I want to plead that you watch this video till the end. If you don't watch till the end, you will misunderstand what I am talking about in this video. Thank you and God bless you. All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is the End Time Truth Television channel. We urge you to subscribe to the channel, activate the bell icon by selecting all so that the next time we upload a new video, you will be among the first persons to be notified by Google. I'll be seeing you in the next video. Till then, shalom.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are watching me from. Thank you and God bless you. If you remember, in not too recent past, maybe within the last 2-3 months, that the developments in SCOAN started coming out. The very first video that I made when some of those local disciples were disgraced out of SCOAN and they were jeered by the waiting crowds within the premises, I did say something that we've not heard the last of the stories. I did say something that we will yet hear more. And I had reported several developments from from the camps that have suddenly emerged in SCOAN. And I understand that some of us are not so much appreciative of the fact that you want it to remain secret, but it cannot be secret. It can never be secret. There is nothing hidden under the sun that cannot be aired. The Lord Jesus said so. No secret under the sun that will never, be heard sometime, someday. You see, in this latest video, the only trustee, the only person that is in the BOT of the SCOAN. If you remember that the wife of TB Joshua went to court and she was added or made to join the BOT. So she became a trustee that made her emerge as the leader of the Synagogue Church of All Nations. Now, there are 3 of them in that BOT. Now, herself, Evelyn herself, and Promise, her daughter, and a certain Mr. David. Now, 2 family members and 1 disciple. Now, this video that you're about to see, you will, on your own see the condition of that trustee. The man himself has suddenly cried out to the public that his life is being threatened, that his life is in danger. As a matter of fact, he is hiding. So it is like there is complete and total desperation from the side of Evelyn TB Joshua. I will give you the report as it is. Maybe at the end of the video, I say 1 or 2 things and we wait for your reactions. God bless you. Let's move into the video and I'll be seeing you at the end of the report. Stay tuned with us and don't go anywhere. Battle at Synagogue. TB Joshua's family. Disciples. Crisis worsens. Trustee alleges threat to life. It's that the rift between the family of the late founder of the Synagogue Church of All Nations, Prophet Temitope Joshua, and the disciple of the late prophet is unabated over the running of the church. The leadership and succession crisis at the Synagogue Church of All Nations may not be over as a member of the Board of Trustees, Joseph David, has raised the alarm over alleged threats to his life and those of other leaders of the ministry. David, who has gone into hiding with other disciples of the late founder of the church, Prophet Temitope Joshua, aka TB Joshua, claimed that the family of the founder was using law enforcement agents to hunt them. He said this was because of their perceived closeness to the late cleric and supposed knowledge of important details of the church not known to the family. the Delta State indigene who spoke to our correspondent from his hideout alleged that the wife of the founder, Evelyn Joshua, was making spirited attempts to consolidate power around her, adding that influential followers of TB Joshua had been chased away, including foreigners. I'd like to inform you that this is a reliable source of news, and so I can boldly report this to you. He said the ministry had disciples who handled the operation, administration, and spiritual affairs of the church. Among them were 5 prophets who were always with Prophet TB Joshua. The prophet's wife was never active in the administration of the church. She only functioned ceremoniously, maybe to receive awards for him. Before the prophet passed on, he was interviewed by a newspaper where he answered the question of succession. He said the church is not a family thing, and that was why his wife was not always seen with him. Around the period he granted the interview, he had removed her from being a trustee of the church, but she did not know she had been removed until he died. David said after TB Joshua's death, the church had 2 trustees left, the cleric's daughter, Promise Joshua, and himself. He noted that trouble started during a meeting to fill the space left by the late cleric, who was the 3rd trustee of the church. The Yaba College of Technology graduates said 2 family members, the prophet's first daughter and his wife, were suggested by a group, adding that he kicked against it to avoid being easily overrun and removed by the family members. The 52-year-old said he suggested that if the duo would join, then more non-family members should be added to make for balance of power, an idea that was rejected by the family as the meeting ended without a resolution. The evangelist said from that point there was mutual suspicion between the family and the group of disciples led by him. He said the suspicion was fueled by the fear of the family that they were in possession of things that the family did not know about. Actually, immediately the man of God passed on, the wife started investigating us and our accounts. We don't take salaries, and we are not exposed to any issue of money. But due to suspicion, she took over the administration of the ministry. All the workers started reporting to her. For the 27 years that I was in that ministry, she never handled any matter of administration, but she started making people turn their backs on the disciples, saying we are thieves and robbers. As a result, church workers started refusing instructions. Our movement was restricted. Our personal freedom was infringed on. We could not shout because we thought this was a family issue and we could bear it, he added. David said a man was later asked to mediate between the disciples and the family, adding that the intervention did not work out. He said his group later decided to concede to the family and allow TB Joshua's wife take over the running of the church. The cleric said the disciples were, however, shocked when he reached out to the mediator and they were told that the situation had reached a gunpowder status. He said for us to avoid the disaster that was coming, all of us as disciples must come together and sign an undertaking to declare Mrs. Evelyn Joshua as the new GO of the church, and we must sign an undertaking to be of good behavior, and we should forward all that to him, and maybe he would unwork the situation to avoid the trouble that was coming. We saw this as a threat, and we did not know how to respond to his message, he added. David noted that the matter reached a climax on September 9, when the family allegedly invited some church members and declared Evelyn as the chairman of the Board of Trustees and general overseer after obtaining a court order. Simultaneously, he said security agents went to the prayer mountain and dragged out some of the disciples after taking their phones, adding that some workers in the church were also taken to the gallery. He said that evening, all the Nigerian evangelists of TB Joshua, some of whom had stayed with the prophet for 28 to 29 years, the list is 20 years, were sent out. But before then, their second daughter, Promise, came with letters from the EFCC and distributed to them before they left. Most of the prophets, both Nigerian and foreign, she accused them of theft, fraud, and money laundering. After she removed the Nigerians, she threatened the foreign ones that they should go back to their countries. Madam said she did not want any discipleship again. The evangelist recalled that before the events of that day, Promise had written to the Nigerian Immigration Service to demand that the residency status of the foreigners be reviewed because their services were no longer needed. He said when he was informed about the call, he went to Abuja to stop the process because the foreigners were still useful. According to him, the EFCC had since launched a search for him and others, saying their lives were under threat. He said, as we are talking now, we are hiding in a hotel. The EFCC came and we were warned that they were looking for us and we should stay in our rooms. Unfortunately, one of our sisters walked into them and they took her away despite the fact we had a restraining order. The question is, why is this woman using the arms of the law to intimidate innocent people? The charges at the EFCC against us are completely baseless because we are not in the position to launder money or steal. Cash does not go through us. Those who work in the accounts have explained the procedure to her, but she is not listening. Now, she has gained control over everything and she is still chasing us. We have tried to sympathize with the family, but we also want the world to hear our side of the story. Punch Panorama learned that aside from the alleged stealing and money laundering charges, the EFCC was also looking into allegations of misappropriation of the burial funds of TB Joshua, in which the disciples were implicated. TB Joshua's daughter, Promise, said the allegations against the family were unfounded. Thank you very much. Because I don't want this to be too long, I'm going to cut it here. Then I will make my comment in the part 2 of it. Here was what David Joseph, the trustee, one of the members of the BOT of SCOAN. This was his own story. Now, in part 2, you will get to hear what Promise, the daughter of TB Joshua, said. The allegation is just, allegation and counter allegation is, like I call it, mud slinging. Here, David Joseph here claimed that TB Joshua's wife didn't even know that her husband removed her from the BOT. And in the other report, where the daughter will be answering also, she also alleged that even David didn't know that he was a member of the BOT. And if you look at that as well, it is funny because if she claimed that the guy was added there because of going to court, and the person who was doing that, who was the BOT, her nephew who was doing that, was removed, and David Joseph was the one the next, after the one that left, the Hassan that left, and primarily he was added in the BOT to be the one going to court. I do not know how I don't know what law that is, that it is a member of the BOT that should be the one going to court. I believe that, maybe there is a requirement that, somebody among the directors of the, maybe among the BOT must be there to answer to some things. And if that is the criteria, definitely the man must have known that he was added as a BOT. So the thing, as a BOT member, now, so the thing is that, like I said, I will remain neutral on this matter, but from the things that are emerging, the things that we are seeing, there is a desperate, measure being put in place by some persons to own the life of SCOAN. But then it will be unfortunate because this and many other things, and some other things definitely may contribute to the, how do I put it now? The extinct of the church, Synagogue, Church of All Nations. Meanwhile, I want to read your comments, and don't forget to watch the part 2 or to listen to the part 2 to hear the response of TB Joshua's daughter. I'll be seeing you at the end, in the next video rather. From me to you, shalom.